Now, if you haven't watched our previous video on backyard poultry farming, then we are going to link it to this video somewhere and you can find it and watch it. So I would also advise that you watch that particular video first before you watch this video so that you can have a better understanding. Okay, now having gotten that out of the way, we are talking of 50 beds that we are going to bring in here. Now with the 50 beds, you ask the question, so what kind of beds do I bring in? Do I bring in the day-old chicks? Or do I bring in the beds that are at the point of laying? Because I need to make my money fast. I need to start making eggs and I need my beds to start producing eggs and then I need to start making money. Well, you can bring in day-old chicks. But you see, the problem with day-old chicks, and I'm actually going to start with the negative aspects before I come to the positive aspects. The negative aspects of having a day-old chick is that the day-old chick needs a lot of monitoring, especially with temperature. Usually, what happens is that for the beds, it usually takes about 6 weeks, okay? 6 weeks for them to regulate their body temperature on their own. And so with the day olds, you're going to have to regulate their temperatures for them day in, day out. It is a very exhausting process. And so if you do not have the skill to manage it, and I assume that for someone that is trying to start the poultry farming in their backyard, you may not necessarily have the skill. Please don't go for a day-old chick, because it is going to cause problems for you if you're not able to regulate their temperatures very well. They might die of shock, of temperature, of thermal shocks. They could die and you wouldn't get any profits out of them. So please, day old, right? Day old is out. Day old. Now, you might also ask, then the best one would be to go for the point of lay beds. I mean, these are beds that are or that have started laying, and the moment they start laying, they are being sold to another farmer so that the farmer will just be reaping up the profits of the eggs. Now, the first disadvantage of some of these points of lay beds is that they are too expensive. Remember, a day old in Ghana could cost you around 20 Ghana cedis. Maybe 20 Ghana cedis or 15 Ghana cedis. I mean, depending on where you are, okay? And we are going to make these conversion rates in other currencies like I said before. But 20 Ghana cedis, 15 Ghana cedis. If you want to buy point of lay, okay? Points of lay. Now, this is actually going to cost you minimum 120 Ghana cedis. So imagine that you're going to start with 50 beds, all right? 50 beds. It means that for the day old, it's going to cost you somewhere around, if you're using 20 Ghana cedis, this is 1K, okay? Ghana cedis. If we are looking at the point of lay and the minimum, this is the cheapest that you're going to get. And I'm going to explain to you why this is also the cheapest. 120 Ghana cedis times 50, you are looking at possibly 6K. So you see that there is a very huge upgrade on this value that you're investing over here. So 6 times the value, that is what is going in there. So 6K for 50 beds. Now, the reason I'm saying that this 120 Ghana cedis here, the cheapest, is actually dangerous is that sometimes there are some farms who actually skip on vaccination, skip on medication, skip on a whole lot of things. Why? Because they think, well, we are only going to sell these off at point of lay, so we don't have to take all of the precautions and all of the measures to make sure that they are producing at maximum capacity.
Please, my people, help me. I requested for point of lay about 4 weeks ago. So this is what was sent to me from Ibadan. I don't know the difference between layer and noila. So I saw a post about a noila that looks like this. I don't know the difference. Please let me to check. Is this noila? Is it really layers? Please let me to confirm it. I don't know the difference. I don't know, maybe it is noila or it's layer.
And if you're a farmer and you invest 6K, 6,000 Ghana cedis, 50 beds, you bring them in and you realize that they're laying very small eggs, the shells are weak, and they are not able to lay up to maximum capacity, then it means that you have completely lost. You are not making any profit whatsoever. So guys, it is very, very important to take note of this. Now, so you're going to ask the question, so what age would you recommend, Farmer J, for us to actually get our beds? Well, our recommendation here on Coffee Farms is 8 weeks. And the reason we say 8 weeks, you remember I said that 6 weeks is for them to have total body temperature control. So that is 6 weeks. All right. If you buy them at 8 weeks, you are very much assured that they are able to regulate their own body temperature. That is one. Number two, you are able to follow up on their vaccines, on their medications, and on their growth. So you are able to follow up on all of these at the same time. So there is no problem when it comes to how you're going to, take care of your chicks. You're able to take care of them very well from 8 weeks until about, anywhere between 18 to 21 weeks when they begin to lay for you. All right, so you're going to have this work to do. You're going to take care of them for about 3 months. You get to know them. They get to know you. You build that kind of connection with them. You know the stock. You know that you have vaccinated them. You know that you have given them all the medications. You know the kind of feed that you're giving them so that they can produce the quality eggs that you need. Now, we actually made a video recently about one of the mistakes that we made in our own experience. And one of the mistakes we made was that we brought in our birds in different stages or at different moments. Guys, this is a golden advice that we are going to give all of you. Bring your birds in at the same time. If you're going to do 50 birds, bring in 50 birds at the same time. If you're going to do 30 birds, bring in 30 birds at the same time. And that is why in the previous video that we talked about, I showed you about the 2-decker cage system. If you're not with the video, please try to watch, where you're going to understand. So that even if you bring in 50 or 25, you have the money to bring in 25. You can bring in 25, put them in one area, in one section, so that they don't mix with the older ones, and especially if they are of different breeds. So if you're bringing them in, bring them all at the same time so that you'll be able to know how much it's going to go. Now, talking about the cost, 8 weeks, okay? We have 8 weeks over here. How much does it cost us to buy 8 weeks? Well, 8 weeks, we are usually buying them somewhere around, maybe 45 Ghana cedis. Okay? 45 Ghana cedis or 40 Ghana cedis. Sometimes if we are lucky, we can get them at 40 Ghana cedis. But either way, if we are buying 50 of them, it means that 50 of them at 40 Ghana cedis is going to give us 2K. Okay? This is a very reasonable investment that we are going to make. And if we get them at 45, we are going to get them at 2.25K, okay, 2,250 Ghana cedis. So this is how much it's going to cost us to bring in our beds. 50 beds, backyard farming, your cage is ready. So we know that, how much our cage is going to cost for us to build. We know how much it's going to cost us for us to bring in our first set of 50 beds. Guys, we are ready to rock this farming. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, share, turn on your notification, share with your friends, and actually comment. Let us know what you think with these numbers that we are giving out. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think that it is even cheaper in your area? Let us know what you think. Until the next video, see you.